Hello, Chris Brown here. I want to introduce you to three Home Capital Network loan officers this morning. The first one's going to be Frank Gatto, who is covering our West Essex and Livingston offices. The second one is going to be Sandra Sonjen, who is in Montclair and Summit. And the third is going to be Bob Tronalone, who is in our Martinsville office, our Hillsborough office, and sometimes in our Basking Ridge office. What I want to do with this short series is just really introduce you to the loan officers and allow you to see what some of the agents that are in those offices have to say about Home Capital Network and their loan officers. I'm sure you are all experiencing the same thing in your office. But there's a lot of great things happening there, and there's a lot of good reasons to be using Home Capital at this point, and you'll hear directly from some of your fellow agents in the field. We're going to start with these three, and then in a month or so I'm going to bring you the remaining loan officers as well. So thanks for listening, and I'll see you soon.
So Angela, I know you've referred me quite a bit, and we've had some great transactions. Why do you refer me and Home Capital?
Well, it just makes the process go much smoother, Frank. I validate every buyer that I go out with, and even when I'm on the selling side, I have the buyers get their pre-qualification validated through Home Capital Network. This way, I can be assured that the transaction is going to be nice and smooth.
That's great. We had a transaction that closed a couple weeks ago, and the buyer seemed very happy. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I sat down with them, pre-qualified them through, you pre-qualified them, we went out, found a home. 60 days later, we closed. It was very smooth. They wrote up a testimonial, and they had a nice plug-in for Frank and Home Capital Network.
That's great, Angela. Thanks for being so supportive of Home Capital. I appreciate it.
We'll continue to do it.
Thank you.
So I have a really important question for you, Ernie.
All right.
Why do you like to use Home Capital Network?
I think that I had two transactions simultaneous to the one that I worked with you most recently, and I know that the situation in the sale in which the clients provided their own mortgage company, it spun out of control, and I had no contact to go to get a sense of what the problems were that weren't particularly receptive. In a situation that you worked on, which was a difficult deal, it had a lot of challenges.
But fun.
Yeah, yes. Very, very nice people, but it was a 5% down loan,
Right.
which was a difficult thing to sell at first.
Super conforming.
And I thought that you did an excellent job. I appreciate the fact, and they certainly appreciate the fact that you spent almost 2 hours with them in the Basking Ridge office. I work out of both Summit and Basking Ridge. You spent a lot of time with them. They, even though they're a mature couple, they needed some hand-holding. You provided it. I had someone to go through to for updates throughout the process. I was able to provide that information to the listing agent, and I was on top of things, mostly because you were part of the transaction. So it was a real benefit in the end.
It's been great, I have to say, being able to communicate with you, communicate with both of the buyers. It's been a real pleasure, so I thank you.
And they've been very, very complimentary to you, and they're not always complimentary.
I've been in the business about 28 years and use Home Capital Network for a majority of our financing of our transactions. So it's nice to be here with Bob.
We had a recent transaction that we closed in the last couple of months, and how did that go? And how did you like using Home Capital Network?
I think it went really well, Bob, considering the fact that in this case the clients weren't as cooperative as they could have been, and if it wasn't for the hard work that you did and the follow-up and constantly staying in touch with me and the client, we probably would have never closed that transaction. But it was through the efforts that Bob has done and the follow-up, and the fact that you can reach Bob regularly here at the office and by phone or fax or email. So thanks, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
What are some of the benefits, Al, that you get from using Home Capital Network?
One of the benefits is the service aspect. With Home Capital Network, you know that you're going to get someone that's qualified to handle the client's needs, educated, knowledgeable, and they'll work the client through the process and keeping me informed with everything that's going on. So that's really critical because it removes a lot of stress and strain from the transaction and a lot of stress from us doing business with the buyers. So I really appreciate the hands-on service that we get with Bob and Home Capital Network.